Hey friends, it's KT, and I'm a little bit late on the draw this year, but I still think it's important to provide a holiday gift guide. And last year's got a little bit unwieldy, so instead of one long video, I'm going to deliver 4 short videos over the course of this week. The first 3 will focus on different age groups, and the last one will be sort of a gift buying anti-shopping list, a list of things that you should not buy under any circumstances. So as always, before we get into this, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It super helps me reach more people and grow the channel. I really appreciate it. All of these gift guides are focused on things currently available on shelves, things that you're actually likely to see in store. These videos assume that the gift buyer is not someone who is already well versed in this hobby, doesn't know the ins and outs of how all of these things work. Now this video is going to focus on gift ideas for adults and older teens. This is generally people who are getting a little bit more competitive, playing actual games with other people who might want to be able to hit a target from across a small field. A lot of these blasters either use exclusively short darts or they're able to switch between 2 different dart types. And that is definitely true of the Dart Zone Max Striker. The Max Striker is essentially a reskin of the Nexus Pro, which has been one of the premier sort of accessible, inexpensive rifle-style competitive blasters that have become increasingly common over the last few years. I prefer the Max Striker because of the accoutrement that it comes with, because of its overall look and styling. It just feels a little bit nicer than the Nexus, even though they're the same price and essentially the same blaster. The Nexus is also going out of production, which means you can find it at a discount right now. The Nexus is a Walmart exclusive, whereas the Max Striker is something you're more likely to find at Target. Now, I personally think that this blaster style, I'm kind of over it. One of the things that I think is great about this hobby is the variety of things that we have available to us. But if you've got someone who really wants this style of blaster without getting into professional expensive gear that's well over $100, I think the Max Striker is where it's at. One that definitely goes on this list that I don't have to show you is the Dart Zone Max Tomcat. The Tomcat is a blaster with similar power to the Max Striker and the Nexus Pro, but it's a drum-fed short dart only blaster. And everything that I've heard about this blaster is great. I got to try one. I had a lot of fun with it. So anyone that's going to be playing in a situation where they want the power of a Nexus Pro, but maybe they expect to be scavenging darts, or they don't want to deal with magazines, or it's a younger teen who's maybe not ready to deal with magazines in a competitive situation, I think the Tomcat is a great option. I've given you 2 Springer options, and I still think that for flywheelers, if you want an inexpensive flywheeler that performs well, the Dart Zone Mark III is really the way to go. One of the themes of a lot of the things that I've suggested so far in all of these videos is that they have a lot of options for modding them, and the Mark III is no exception. Very famously, people took the battery tray out and found out that it was already wired up to take a LiPo battery, which is a very common way to step up a battery-powered flywheel blaster. As you can see, I'm a big fan of this blaster because mine does not look anything like they look stock. I've changed the muzzle, and I've changed the stock, and I've added a sling, and I've changed the mag release and all this stuff. Because the blaster takes to those things well, but you don't have to do those things to have a great time with it. You can just put 8 AA batteries in this and have a great time out of the box. It shoots both short darts and full-length darts. It tends to perform better with short darts. One caveat about this, there is a bit of a glitch with short darts on this. There's a really easy mod to do that gets around that problem. So that could be a good reason to get into modding and open up a blaster for the first time. It's possible that they fixed that glitch in recent production runs of this. I'm not 100% sure. Regardless, I still recommend this blaster. For someone who's at that level, figuring out those problems is not going to be that big of a deal. And in this same vein, I want to suggest another blaster that I don't have to show off, but the Worker Nightingale. The Worker Nightingale is a sidearm style blaster. It's very sci-fi looking, so it doesn't look like a real firearm, but it's a flywheel powered, LiPo powered, little tiny blaster that shoots hard and fast and can be held in a holster. They're relatively inexpensive. You can get a whole setup for under $100. And it would make a great sidearm to a Striker or a Nexus or any of those blasters. One really important thing that I forgot to mention when talking about the Nightingale, unlike on the Mark III where getting a LiPo is an optional upgrade down the road, the Nightingale only runs on LiPo, so if you're interested in taking this route or you think that the person you're buying gifts for would be interested in this, make sure you look up LiPo safety and understand what you're getting into. There are some important details that you need to take care of, including proper storage, charging and discharging, other expenses that come along with investing in a LiPo battery. And finally, in the adult category, something for the collectors. Particularly for the Halo fan in your life that you're ready to spoil, consider getting the Halo Needler. I am incredibly impressed with this thing. I'm super happy with mine. The lighting effects are awesome. The firing is slow, but functional and great for doing office Nerf battles. This is not the kind of thing you take to a foam flinging event or take outside ever, really. And as such, it comes with its own stand. It has lighting that will stay on for 2 hours on its own. It's just beautiful and extremely well designed and will make any Halo fan very happy. But again, it's got to be for someone you want to spoil because this thing costs about $100. And finally, my honorable mention in this category is actually probably one of my first suggestions, specifically for anyone who is already really into the hobby and is doing modding on a regular basis and maybe wants to order a custom blaster. Get them a gift card. Most of the independent shops that support our hobby, like Out of Darts, Containment Crew, and Silver Fox Industries, they all offer gift cards. Picking one of those up allows your hobbyist to make their own selections or put them towards a large blaster that they want to build themselves, buy kits, buy parts, buy 3D printable files. You could also consider an Etsy gift card. A lot of the smaller sellers and smaller designers in our hobby sell things on Etsy, which is a marketplace for handmade goods. They offer their own gift card system, and so you can support makers like Foamdemic or Radioactive or Gavin Fuzzy, who all use that marketplace to sell their goods. And then you're taking the money and you're putting it back into the hobby rather than just into the big companies. So thanks for checking out this gift buying guide. I hope it's helpful. Be sure to check out all the other gift buying guides. As always, be sure to like the video. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you on the field.